you remember that moment at your first lesson when they're saying, listen for the biting point? And you don't even know what they mean. You're like, what? Do you know that bit? And then it conks out right in the middle of the road. Everyone's hooting.
Hill starts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Parallel parking.
God, by 2027, 1 in 3 driving tests will be taken in an automatic car. The AA has warned that driving with a manual gearbox could feel irrelevant to newer drivers in coming years. So do you think that this is a vital skill that we cannot afford to lose? Or should we just realise that eventually we're all going to be driving automatic, so it doesn't really matter? Did you learn to drive a manual, and do you think it's important? So I think I'll fess up first. I did learn to drive in a manual. I passed, but it took me 3 goes to pass. I was hardly a natural.
I can beat that.
Can you?
4.
Oh, did you?
4 times.
It's embarrassing, isn't it?
Really embarrassing, but, you know, I choose to own it and not be shamed by it. The truth is, I was a student, it's quite expensive.
At the time? Were you driving at the time?
I just kept taking tests when I wasn't ready because I couldn't be bothered paying for lessons. I thought I might get lucky, and I did on the 4th occasion.
But does it matter to you that it's a manual and you can drive one? Do you still drive a manual?
No, I mean, why? I don't understand. I got a new car earlier this year. I wouldn't have even considered getting a manual. No. Why make things more complicated? Gear sticks are boring and, you know, difficult to operate.
Do you not feel more in control with a manual car, particularly, you know, when it's bad weather and there's snow?
I think that's. I always think that's quite a macho thing. I'm not really that macho.
Says here it took 4 attempts to pass his test.
I've got Italian cousins who are very macho in that Italian way, and they're so disgusted that I drive an automatic because they're like, yo, you need to control the car, but like you own it. Yeah. It's your machine. And it's like, I don't really care. I just want to get from A to B. I like it. My car looks quite nice and is nice and easy to drive. So soon, I would be surprised if they continue to manufacture manual cars.
So Terri, you're a purist on this. You seem to be.
Yeah, I am really. And actually, I was really appalled that people can drive cars with just an automatic car. I think everyone should learn in a manual. I think you become a better driver, you learn more about the car, you just are a better driver. I think it's dangerous. Cars are dangerous. Yeah. You drive them at a really, really high speed. Why would you not want to make sure that you've got all skills possible to be able to manoeuvre that car in the best way?
Because it's such a pain, especially when you're stuck in traffic. That's why going up and down is going to, oh, God's sake.
I get that it's easy. And listen, I drive automatics. I love automatics, but it's having the choice. What happens if there's an emergency and the only car available is a manual car? It just really restricts you.
I'll tell you what else happened as well. When I learnt to drive, there was 4 gears and reverse, right? Then I carried on driving. Then there was 5th gear. Then there was 6th. Then there was some extra one on top of that. It got more and more complicated.
I've got
I
an
want less
automatic
gears,
with
not
some
more.
extra gears, and I don't even know what. I've never used them. I don't even know what they are. Is one of mine that says something like sports gear? Then what sport am I supposed to be doing in the car? I literally don't understand it. How about you? Do you drive?
No, well, I do, but not in London. Yeah. I learned in a manual, which is great because there is that control. It's the moving down the gears with the clutch control, going downhill. You do have a better aspect of what you're actually driving, right? Yeah. But what if you hire a car in Europe, for instance, or even over in the States? Well, the States is different. They're all automatic over there. But it's a skill, it's a life skill. And if you're going to learn to drive with the manual because that does the automatic too. If you only learn in the automatic, that's all you're legally allowed to drive.
Have you said to your kids they must learn on
Yes, and that's what they're doing.
Are they?
One's passed and one has a really old car that I had.
And you as well?
Yeah, it's dangerous. I've had a car crash. I've been on the other side of it. So, you know, I kind of know how dangerous these things can be. And just equip yourself. You know, if you're going to command another piece of machinery, you wouldn't just go for the easy option if it was dangerous, would you? You would equip yourself with as much knowledge to do it safely.
I take it you're not going in any driverless cars then?
No.
The AA warns that driving with a manual gearbox could soon feel irrelevant to newer drivers. Maybe you already think it is. Is driving a manual car a vital skill that you think everyone ought to learn? Or maybe you remember learning to drive and the whole thing was a royal pain. You wish you'd simply learned on an automatic. And you were saying, Claire, it's a life skill and everyone ought to have it.
I do really live by that. It definitely is.
Let's talk to Julie in Leeds. Julie, what about you? You can't drive a manual car, can you?
I can't drive a manual car, no. I just learned in an automatic. Yeah.
So you only learned on an automatic, so you can't drive a manual, can you?
Yeah. I can't drive a manual, unfortunately.
And does it matter? Do you care?
I don't care, to be honest. I've found it really easy. I needed to pass quite quickly at the time, which was like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And I needed to pass so quickly, so I took the test in an automatic and passed for the third time. So I've never looked back, really. I do sometimes sort of think I wish I had both, because it is handy, obviously, if my car breaks down. Yeah. I can drive my husband's manual.
Yeah. So you don't think, though, of going through the whole rigmarole of taking another test and learning on a manual, do you?
No, I just wouldn't do that.
Too much effort.
I think it's something to do with the brain and the gears.
I know exactly what you mean, because I remember it failing 3 times and just not being able to hear that damn biting point. I know exactly what you mean. Let's go to Christine in Dorset. Christine, what do you think?
Well, I learnt to drive about 47 years ago in an ordinary car. We had no automatics other than the very big, expensive ones in those days. And I'm very pleased I did. I have since driven campers in this country, VW campers. Gosh. I owned one for 18 years. Okay. No automatic. I've driven in South Africa, no automatic, and Australia too. Now, I wouldn't have been able to do that had I only passed in an automatic car.
But on a daily basis, do you now choose to drive an automatic?
No, most certainly not. I find them much slower to pull away at roundabouts when you've got a lot of traffic.
So do you feel as if you're the real driver and everyone else is just a pretend driver who can't really drive?
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's the fact that it's easier for me. I've had automatic cars, but I've always gone back to a manual because I find it much simpler in areas where you have to get a little bit of speed up to get past your other traffic. I found that with the automatics, they are much slower in a lot of cases to pull away. I'm not as comfortable in an automatic, and I think because I know I can drive an automatic, should I wish to, I can drive either, which I find it would be very useful.
Christine, thank you very much indeed. And also when it's snowy and icy, I think that's the one time on an automatic you're thinking, gosh, I really ought to have a manual.
Yeah, I think it gives you more confidence as well. I've driven Luton vans, I've driven abroad, and I don't know if I'd have that confidence if I'd have just learnt in, well, I wouldn't have been able to drive them, would I?
Yeah, no.
Unless you get automatic Luton.
Let's go to Ian in Lincolnshire. What do you think, Ian?
Hi, Vanessa. Hi, panel.
Hi.
Lovely panel today. One of the nicest ever.
That's nice to say.
Thanks, Ian.
How nice of you to say that. Thank you so much. They're very flattered, and so am I. That's brilliant. What do you think about manual cars? Because Claire says it's a life skill. It is a life skill.
Yes, I agree it's a life skill. I started driving a number of years ago, and I did my car licence. I used to use a starting handle to start the engine.
My gosh.
Yeah, wow. And then you get in the car. And then I did my motorcycle licence, and you're changing the gears there. And then I did my heavy goods vehicle licence, and you used to have to double declutch. Now, if I said double declutch to you, you'd be thinking, what is the process of doubling the clutch on the manual engine?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. What the heck is that? What is that double declutch?
It's where you dip the clutch, put it into first gear. To go to second gear, you put the clutch down once, put it into neutral, put it down again and put it into second gear. And you're going through that process.
Are you just showing off now? You're a lovely person, but are you showing off?
No. But what I'd like to say is, and I agree with Julie, because she had to say, for her own reasons, pass her test quickly, by doing that, it gives more time to learn a more advanced motor vehicle maintenance, motorway driving, night driving, and I would put that in as part of the automatic test. Not only just to drive a car, but be night aware, be motorway aware, and add that onto the extra. So cut down the lessons from learning on the manual engine. Plus the fact that, again, I've spoken to you before, the car I've ordered and is coming soon, I don't even need to park it. I can stand outside my car and it'll self-park, put itself in its own position.
God, how wonderful.
Pick the self-parking bay, etc. That's the way the world's going. As for the lady from who spoke about acceleration, when you think of a Tesla EV will go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. Now, what's faster than that? That's the equivalent of what a Lamborghini would have been as a manual Lamborghini.
Now you're talking.
So I just think personally that let's move on, let's have that. Let's say, yes, there's an option there, but if you're going to drive a manual, we want you to do a little bit more.
Ian, I have to stop you, my darling, I'm afraid, because we've got to move on, or I'm going to get into trouble if we don't go to the break, you see.